We constantly talk about generations. Boomers are blamed for the past. Millennials are analyzed non-stop. Gen Z is treated like a brand new social experiment. But there's one generation that almost nobody talks about. A generation quietly standing in the middle. Generation X, born roughly between 1965 and 1980. They're your experienced coworkers who rarely complain. Your parents who seem strong but emotionally reserved. The people who helped build today's digital world, yet rarely post their lives online. And here's the surprising truth. Generation X may be the most misunderstood generation alive today. The childhood that shaped them. Imagine being 8 years old in 1978. You walk home from school alone. You unlock the front door yourself. The house is empty. No smartphones, no text messages, no cameras checking if you arrived safely. Just silence. You make your own snack, you finish homework alone, you wait hours for your parents to come home from work. Millions of kids live this reality every single day. They became known as latchkey kids. But this wasn't just independence, it was psychological training. They learned early that sometimes no one is immediately available to help you. And that lesson stayed with them for life. A world of immediate consequences. When their parents came home, discipline was direct and fast. There were no long emotional discussions, no deep conversations about feelings. If you made a mistake, consequences happened right away. Psychologists describe this as a high-consequence environment where actions and outcomes were closely connected. Because of this, Gen X developed a habit many people notice today. They naturally think ahead. Before acting, they quietly consider risks, outcomes, and backup plans, not because they overthink, but because their childhood trained them to. Watching stability fall apart. Gen X grew up hearing one promise: work hard, follow the rules, and everything will work out. But reality looked different. They saw rising divorce rates. They watched loyal workers suddenly lose jobs. Companies promised security, then announced layoffs. The rules changed right in front of them. So Gen X didn't become hopeless, they became realistic. Psychologists sometimes call it defensive pessimism, expecting problems so you're never completely unprepared. They hope for the best, but they always prepare for the worst, because experience taught them that stability can disappear overnight. Why they don't overshare online. Many people assume Gen X avoids social media because they struggle with technology. That's not true at all. They helped build the internet, but they grew up when privacy was normal. If you embarrassed yourself as a kid, only a few people knew. Eventually, everyone forgot. Today, mistakes can live online forever, so sharing everything publicly doesn't feel exciting to them. It feels risky. Their mindset became simple. Privacy equals safety. Humor as emotional armor. Gen X humor often sounds sarcastic or ironic. There's a reason for that. They grew up during the Cold War, when schools practiced nuclear drills as if disaster could happen at any moment. Adults told them not to worry while preparing for catastrophe. So they learned to live with uncertainty. Humor became protection. If you laugh first, disappointment hurts less. Their quiet work ethic. Gen X doesn't talk much about hustle culture. They don't post motivational speeches. They just do the work. Many started working young, delivering newspapers early in the morning, working grocery stores, handling cash registers without digital systems, solving problems without supervision. These jobs weren't impressive on paper, but they taught responsibility early. Teenagers were trusted with real duties, real customers, and real consequences. That builds confidence in a different way. Loyalty to skills, not companies. After watching companies lay off loyal employees, Gen X changed how they viewed work. They stopped trusting corporate promises. Instead, they became loyal to their own abilities. Their thinking is simple. I can't control the company, but I can control my skills. They focus on competence rather than titles. Independent, but quietly supportive. Here's an interesting contradiction. Gen X is extremely independent. They rarely ask for help because they learned to solve problems alone. But when someone else needs help, they show up immediately. No drama, no announcements, no need for recognition. Their friendships were built during childhood independence, when friends became emotional support systems. Authority must be earned. Gen X doesn't automatically respect authority figures. They respect competence. If a leader knows what they're doing, Gen X will follow them fully. But titles alone don't impress them. They grew up watching political scandals and institutional failures, which taught them to question power rather than blindly trust it. Economic challenges again and again. Financially, Gen X experienced repeated instability. Some graduated during recessions. Others built careers before market crashes erased progress. Many faced multiple economic crises throughout adulthood. Because of this, they often maintain backup plans or multiple income sources, not out of ambition, but survival instinct. They learned one core lesson: nothing is permanent. The hidden cost of self-reliance. Gen X handles crises extremely well. They stay calm under pressure. But there's a downside. Research shows they are less likely to seek emotional support during stressful times, not because they lack relationships, but because asking for help feels uncomfortable. Self-reliance became part of their identity. Learning before Google. Before the internet, finding information required effort. Hours in libraries, searching through catalogs, reading entire books just to find one answer. Because knowledge required effort, it felt valuable. Psychologists call this deeper learning. Information stays longer when it's hard to obtain. They also learned practical problem solving. If something broke, you fixed it yourself. That built confidence in understanding the real world. Now Gen X is raising children in an age of constant supervision and social media exposure. They gave their kids attention they didn't always receive, but sometimes they wonder if modern life removed too much independence, because in their worldview, being visible also means being vulnerable. The bridge generation. Gen X may be the last generation that truly understands boredom, being alone with thoughts, solving problems without searching online, figuring things out through patience. They are not better than other generations, just shaped by a unique moment in history when the old world was ending and the digital world was just beginning. They became the bridge between two eras, and bridges rarely get attention. They simply hold everything together, quietly doing their job. And maybe that's the most Gen X trait of all, not needing recognition to keep going. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing. And if you enjoy deep psychological stories like this, join the channel to support future videos. Your support truly makes a difference.